Hey, looks like we're live everywhere. Let's go ahead and get this fired up. Welcome, episode 266. Good evening to all of you. We're live on Facebook, live on Twitter, live on YouTube as well. Good evening. Looks like Michael checks in first. Good evening, kind sir, to you. Hope all is well down in Panama City, Florida. Very, very, very cool. For those of you just joining for the first time, what we do a live show here. We hang out for about 10 or 15 minutes, just checking in, seeing how you're doing, answering whatever questions you have, and then we'll record the live show in about 10 minutes. You get to watch that recording after the show is done. We come back here and we kind of hang out. So, well, let's go ahead and kick this off. Karen checks in on Facebook, on YouTube. Good evening to you, Karen. Linnea's here from Fort Worth. Lee checks in 499th weigh-in. Awesome. Next week, got it. 500. Is that going to be a celebration? I think it needs to be. Let's see. Cindy is here. Good evening to you. Jacqueline, good evening. Hello. Diane is here. Glenda is saying hello to Lee. Connie is here. Good evening. Glenda, I got you. Carrie, hello. Let's see. Becky is here. Let's see who else we got. Denise from Pittsburgh. Very nice. Very nice. Let's see. Lee was cooking fish and chips, and it was nearly done when it dawned on me that the breakfast fish wasn't Passover friendly. So put the fish in the refrigerator and ate fries with something else. Good job. Good job. Missouri, Wendy checks in. Good evening to you and Travis. Back on track after the weekend. Very good. We got this. We're rocking. We got it. We got it. Terry checks in from Vero Beach. Good evening to you. Kathy, good evening. Let's see, how are you? Let's see who else I got. Donna checks in from Kentucky. Good evening to you. Karen A is here. Carrie, let's see, got you. Steve is here. Good evening to you, sir. Anne, good evening. Hey, we the monkeys. Lee always providing the commentary. If I knew the next line, people say we're messing around. It's funny. Facebook will probably flag me for inappropriate use of music, so I better not do that. It'd be interesting if they recognized it. Somerset, Massachusetts. Jamie checks in. Good evening to you. Delilah, hello. Joni says hi, guys. Maryland, Nancy checks in. Oh, nice. Karen is Ubering and lifting. I should put an Uber request in and see if you get it. You're probably too far away. Oh, look at this. Terry says, it's the first Easter I've had with no chocolate at all. Had 2.8-pound loss at WW today. Dang. How awesome is that? Isn't that worth it? Excellent, excellent, excellent job, Terry. Proud of you. Becky's here. Chicago. Danny checks in. Donna says, how's the studio coming? I got one more step, and then you'll hear all about it. So you will hear about that soon. Patterson, California checks in. Chef Saul? Chef Susie is what it looks like. Chef Susie. Very cool. Good evening from Patterson, California. Let's see. Westport, Mass. Jody checks in. Hope everyone has a great Easter Passover. I agree. I was super busy last week. We had my mother-in-law was in town, so it was a great visit with her. But obviously, that was my focus and my priority. So yeah. So wasn't good with checking in on social media. Wasn't good with checking in on the podcast. But 100% good with taking care of the family. I win. I think I win. Let's see who else we got. That was Jody. Joni is here. Falling off track. Can't get back on. Well, let's get you back on track. Let's do it. Right now. Boom. Right now. Done. On track. See how easy that was? You're back on track right now. Right this second. And you can go to bed now and wake up on track. Let's talk about the rule of thirds when it comes to getting off track. And so whenever you get off track, what I like to do when I'm off track completely is whatever the next meal is, use a third of my daily points, regardless of how many I have, and see if I can make that meal work. So if you get 30 points a day, let's just say, just for simple math, you get 10 for breakfast, 10 for lunch, 10 for dinner, kind of, right? You can do it however you want. But what I'm getting at is if you wake up and have 7,000 points for breakfast, then for lunch have 10, for dinner have 10, and move on. But that way you're still mentally on plan, right? So, and there's a good chance if you had 7,000 points for breakfast, you don't need 10 for lunch. But if you need the lunch, go ahead and have 10 for lunch, have 10 for dinner, reset with the rule of thirds, and get you right back on track. You're right on track the second you put your fork down. It's that simple, kind of, right? Always categorize it with or always caveat it with a kind of. Debbie checks in from Rockville, Illinois. Good is now back on Facebook. Cheryl is here. Diane, Connie, hello, hello. Angela, hey. Angela, how are you? Hope you're good. Haven't seen you in forever. Let's see. Pam is here in Colorado Springs. Let's see. Mary is here from Ohio. Very nice. Harlingen, Texas. I'm going to pronounce it Harlingen. Florida, Penny checks in. Minneapolis, Melissa is here. Very nice. People say we monkey around. Leads back to singing. Nora, Chocolate Pie Womack is here. Good evening, Nora. Placerville, California. Good evening to you, Gina. Let's see. First time joining you live. Emily, very nice. Well, welcome, Emily. Glad to have you here. So again, to reiterate for those joining us for the very first time, we hang out for about 10 or 15 minutes, nothing more than me saying hello to you and answering whatever quick questions you have. We'll record the show in about, a couple of minutes or so. You'll get to watch episode 266 being recorded. And then I will get that recorded, put it in the app, and I'll come back and hang out with you guys for, whatever it takes after. So every once in a while, I get on a post-show rant. That's always fun. I get on that soapbox after the show. So, Emily, glad to have you here. Thanks for being part of our awesome community. Laura checks in from Houston. Let's see. So Chef Susie is usually on Facebook, but thought I'd check on Twitter. Yeah, welcome to Twitter. So we're live on Twitter, live on YouTube, live on Facebook. Some people like YouTube because they don't like the conversation. The conversation in Facebook can be distracting. So some people move to YouTube because it's quieter. Some people move to Twitter because it's quieter. So wherever you want to watch it, fine by me. I just want you watching because I want you dialed in and focused. Barbara confirms that family is what Easter is all about. So yeah, I'm very happy. I'm very happy with my Easter. I just wasn't very social. So I apologize to you guys, but my family loves it. Jill says, hi. Hi, Jill. Jill said, did the survey. Thank you. Very cool. So I'll tell you guys, and then I'll put it in the podcast because it's that important. From time to time, I get requests from people who want to know what the audience makeup is. So certainly advertisers care. They want to know who you got, who's listening, who's part of this group. So time to time, I just generally say, well, it's a group of awesome people. Don't you want to advertise to awesome people? And so yeah, there was this time I said, let me gather some more of that demographic data. So I put a link on Facebook for a survey to do demographic data. Nothing personal about you, so it doesn't identify you in any way. We don't collect email addresses, nothing like that. I'm just really, I want your voice to be heard, and I want to make sure that your voice is included in any conversations I have in the future about the podcast and whatever opportunity I have to influence. You guys have trusted me with this platform. You've given me this platform, and so I want to make sure that you can come here and say what you need to say, and therefore, anytime I have an opportunity to share it, I will share it with your voice, and the data behind it makes it much more impactful. So Jill, thanks for doing that, for sure. Very, very fun. Let's see. I don't know where my bell is. I lost my bell. Oh, there it is, right here. It said ring the bell for Emily. So right, every once in a while we ring a bell when I remember to do it, and someone reminds me that when someone's brand new, we ring a bell. So Emily, that bell's for you. Thanks, Jamie, for reminding us. Let's see. Saskatchewan. Barbara is here. Karen says, not too far, but far enough. Well, it'd be a good ride at least. You'd get a good fare all the way up here. Let's see. So a lot of you guys, ring for Emily. Yep. Very nice. Broomall, Pennsylvania. Catherine is here. Is Janine here? I see Diane is saying hi, Janine, but I didn't see Janine pop in. Jacqueline, thank you for that. Jacqueline said, that's great advice. It's just how you live it. So, woo. All right, let's see. Frog City RV Park in Louisiana. Angela's here. Very fun. Valpro. Sandy checking in from Valparaiso. Very nice. Newbie from Melrose Park, Pennsylvania. Mary Jane. Very nice. Welcome on YouTube. Very fun. Kansas City. Terry is here. Oh, man. All kinds of fun. Nicholas. You guys are from places that make it hard to pronounce. Nicholasville, Kentucky. Angie, good evening to you. Jamie says Dr. Dag, right? Yeah. Switzerland in the house. No, Swaziland. So is Lee? That's Lee. Sorry, Lee. Lee. Love it. Lene says Fat Dag replays are my go-to podcast during the day. Yeah, the whole intent. I'm getting there. I promise you, I'm getting there. Where this show is going to be back to the daily show that it should have been in the first place. I tell you, one of the things I did not anticipate. A lot of things in my life I haven't anticipated. But one of the ones I did not anticipate was how much work retiring from the military is. Man, that has got me busier than working. I'd rather work more. I had more free time when I was working than trying to figure out how to retire. So super duper busy with that. But all that comes to an end on August 1st, and then life changes for all of us on August 1st, really. So you should notice a difference soon. Hang out with me just a little bit longer. You got it. You got it. Glenda said, did I miss the glitch on WWA that took us back to freestyle? I saw it. I did. When I logged in, I saw it. Jan says, I responded to the survey, so thank you. Rockford, Coletta is here. All of you guys did the survey. You guys are awesome. Thank you for that. And like I said, it really just helps me. It just helped me let people know, hey, this audience is 100% awesome. And what I'm noticing right now, and you guys probably knew this, about 90 or better % of you are female, right? Small 10% of you are guys. Come on, guys. Come on. Let's get locked in here. Let's get that number up. But it's just interesting to see who's watching. So Jody says, a survey suggestion, how long to get from starting to current weight? Yeah, Jody, that was originally in there. I took some of those questions out because I didn't want that data. I really was more or less concerned with who you are, not what you are. It's kind of weird, kind of hard to describe, but I took that question out. And now I got some great feedback because one of the last questions was, what else do you want me to know? And I've read a lot of them. I have not read them all yet because there was a few hundred responses so far. But one of them was, don't sell your soul to corporate America. Yeah, trust me, not selling my soul to corporate America. And so, but what I'm trying to do is sustain the show, right? That's really what it is. And so if someone from corporate America wants to help us sustain the show, yeah, I'm all in for that, under my terms. So, yeah, keeping an eye on that for sure. A lot of you had a lot of great feedback and comments. Thank you. All will be incorporated, and you now have a voice, which I think is fantastic. Connecticut, Maria's here. Good evening to you. Keith checks in. Woo! Kitty is here. Yay! And it's an active group tonight. Active group. So, Dina, hubby and I went for a motorcycle ride. Very nice. Let's see. Atlantic City with hubby for 5 days with Maria. Lene says, I can't imagine. I have 2 sons in, 1 deployed currently. Yeah. Woo! Tallahassee, Anna checks in. All right, let's go ahead and get this thing done. Debbie says, where's the survey? I posted it on Facebook. It'll be in the show notes of this episode as well. It's on Facebook and in the Wise Wingman group currently. If you're in Patreon, there's a little more deeper explanation, let's just say, as to why I'm collecting the data. But that's going to cost you $1 a month to go find that out. So wherever you're at, either you can go on Patreon and read a little more detail as to why I'm collecting the data. Otherwise, fill out the survey, and it's still valuable information for me to use. So, awesome. Let's see, scrolling through. Let's see, scrolling through. Laurel, Mississippi, Denise is here, and Rachel's checked in from Valparaiso as well. So awesome. All right, well, let's go ahead and get this thing started, shall we? I'm ready to get this thing done. Episode 266. Tonight we have Lynn, Jane, and Audrey. Lynn out of Valley City, Ohio. Jane out of Watsonville, California. Audrey checks in from Arlington, Texas. Very nice. So we'll see those 3. So Joyce says, west of Ann Arbor, going to bed. We'll catch up tomorrow. Yep, it'll be in the app tonight for sure. Joyce, I understand it. One of my other things that I'm working on, in addition to retiring from the military, is moving this show to a little bit prime time slot, at least 1 day a week or so. So that's kind of a goal of mine. So Lynn says, I think this is my episode. Lynn from Valley City, Ohio. If that is you, then that is you. So you'll know when it comes around. Lynn is Instagram, lose it, Lynn, lose_it_Lynn over on Instagram. So very fun. So this is episode 266. Let's go ahead and get this thing done, shall we? I'm ready. Let's go ahead and drink some water. You got your water ready? Get some water. Awesome. So hey, real quick. So I do another little side note. One of the things that keeps me busy, unfortunately, is I also do. I'm in a they call veterans vetrepreneur, like an entrepreneur but for vets, vetrepreneur group, and I provide podcast assistance to that group, no charge. Real small. I mean, I do it like 30 minutes a week. Nothing crazy. So it doesn't interfere with this time. I do it during the day. But one of the things I did is I put out to them, hey, if you're interested in starting a podcast, I can at least help you get started. And so I put that out to that group, and a company called Industry Threadworks is, I helped them out get started, and they sent me this cool t-shirt. So plug to them. It's a private label company, so we're working, maybe I'll do some t-shirts with them. I don't know. We'll see. But in the meantime, let's cheers. Let's drink some water. Let's do this. I'm ready. You ready? Cheers. Woo! That's some good stuff there. So, all right, so that's episode, let's get 266 done. I'm ready to do it. I hope you are as well. Let's get a little mic check here. Testing, yep, audio looks good. Cool. And audio check, test. Let's see, testing. Oh, there it is. Is that the right channel? Oh, no. Testing 1, 2. Test. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. All right, I believe. Oh, there it is. I was like, I think we're good. Whew. Record. It's already recording. I got that done. Let's see. Whew. I never want to. I tell you. Lori says, almost forgot to get here tonight. Woo. Let's see. Jeff is here. Woohoo. All right, cool. All right, let's go ahead and rock this thing, shall we? You're going to like this episode. I think I liked it when I proofread it. So Heather and Lisa did a great job getting this thing ready for us tonight. It's been ready for a couple days. I just have not been, but it has been. So there we go. Let's do this. Here we go. We're recording. Audio levels look good. We're there. All right, let's go. I am your host, Fat Dag. You're listening to WhysAdvice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at fatdag.com and follow along on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, all at WhysAdvice. Send in your comments, your questions, your celebrations. I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Well, hello there. Welcome to episode 266 of WhysAdvice. Thank you all for being a part of the show. For those of you joining us live on Facebook, live on Twitter, live on YouTube, thank you. Welcome. Welcome to the live show. For those of you catching a re-recording in the podcast app, hello to you as well. Always good to hang out with you guys. Hope you're out getting a good walk in. Hope you're out doing some sort of activity. Hope you're doing something fun. The weather's finally breaking, and it's time to get outside and enjoy it. So, very, very, very fun. Got a huge favor to ask of you before we get into the show. Every once in a while, I have the opportunity to present, opportunities to other sponsors and to other people who are interested in helping our community significantly. And so one of the things that they ask me all the time is, well, what is the audience makeup? And I say 100% awesome. And they want a little more detail than that. So in the bottom of this episode, there'll be a link for a survey. Nothing personal. We're not collecting any usernames, not email addresses, nothing like that. It's just a simple validation of, okay, who is listening to the show? What demographic? Is it male, female? Is it 10-year-old kids, or is it 50-year-old people? Whatever that range is. So whether you're 10, 12, 15, 70, 73, whatever your age is, I'm interested, your gender, and then just some data back about, how long have you been listening, that type of stuff. So I think it's about a dozen questions or so. It should take you just a handful of seconds. At the very bottom, you can type in whatever you want that you want me to know. And when I ever have the opportunity to share, interesting things from the listeners with the right audience, I will certainly share your comments with the data behind it. As you know, in every industry, data is what drives decisions. So I need that data. So if you could go at the end of the show, in the bottom of the show notes, there's a link for a survey. Click on that, complete the survey. And what I'm going to do is I ask you what major city you live near. So, if you live near Boston, if you live near Atlanta, if you live near Seattle, if you live near Minneapolis, wherever you live, what I'm going to do is after, about a week or so, I'm going to look at all the results, and I'm going to pick the city with the most responses, and I'm going to add that as a 2019 tour stop. So, so certainly you want to get in there and do that, and I will certainly keep you posted on that. So that's the game plan there. We had a quick little reschedule. Phoenix was supposed to be April 27th. I had a business trip come up that trumps that, so I will not be in Phoenix on the 27th. That email has already gone out. You should have gotten that in your inbox. But we will reschedule the Phoenix trip. I promise you that I will get to Phoenix in 2019. That is in the works. And so now planning a business trip, and then after that on to Tulsa to get Tulsa ready. So thanks for being here. Thanks for being a part of the community. Last but not least, before we get into the show, download the WhysAdvice app from your app store, whether it be the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. Download the app, leave a review so other people know that the app is the best way to hear the show. Of course, you can catch it in Spotify, you can catch it in iHeart, you can catch it in Apple Podcasts, but the app makes it so much easier. It's just on your phone, and you can email in the show directly from the app. You go into the settings, click on email the show, type in your email, send it in. It comes right into the inbox. Lisa and Heather do a great job of curating that content and getting it back into the episode. So, again, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a part of the show. Let's open this up with Lynn out of Valley City, Ohio. She's joining us live on Facebook for this episode as well. She says, hi, hello, my name is Lynn, and I'm from Valley City, Ohio. I've been following this group for a little over a year, which is also when I joined WW. It was still Weight Watchers in January of 2018. I don't think my story is nearly as great as some others, but I hope to inspire others who may have been in a similar circumstance. For as long as I can remember, I have had trouble with my weight. I would have to say it all started back when I was 9 years old and my mother was diagnosed with stage 4 rare breast cancer, and my world was turned upside down. She went through intense chemotherapy, and I had to stay at my aunt's house while my mother was in the hospital. Well, needless to say, I had a lot of stress placed on me at a very young age. My aunt's house was different. They ate terrible foods and a lot of junk foods, both of which were not supervised in this house. There were no rules. I once ate an entire bag of Reese's Cups for dinner. This period of my life seemed to start this downward spiral of weight gain. Fast forward a bit, my mother pulled through and life went back to normal, but now I was way overweight for my age and my size. I wasn't allowed to do sports for various reasons, probably money or my mother's health. Therefore, the weight stayed on. It wasn't until about 8th grade when I joined gymnastics that I lose the weight. I felt great and strong, and things were positive for a while. Then came high school, and my weight got scary. I remember seeing my homecoming picture in a pretty dress, but I didn't see the skeleton in the picture. I thought I looked fat. Amazing how our own brains can skew our actual truth. The scary part was the way that I actually lost that much weight. I stopped eating. I would not eat breakfast. I would only eat fries for lunch, even if that, and some days I skipped lunch. I would only eat bagel bites for dinner and Gatorade. Even though I was so skinny, I still wasn't healthy. All through college was the same thing. I would only eat dinner. Then came junior and senior year. I struggled to keep the weight at bay. I would spend hours in the rec center only to then go to Wendy's and get junk. Needless to say, the weight started to build back on. Then in grad school, it got worse. Skip ahead 3 years later, I went to nursing school, which was the most stressful time of my life. I really gained. I had my first girl and gained more. I used pregnancy as an excuse to make it okay to eat. All day long, I would eat chips or any junk that I could get my hands on, even if I wasn't hungry. It got bad. I would look in the mirror, and this time I couldn't see how much weight I had actually gained. Again, my vision was warped by my own brain. My mother would tell me how much I gained, but I denied it. Then I had my second child and actually lost weight due to nausea and watching more of what I ate. Once she was one, the weight was put right back on and then some. Soon, I was 271 pounds at 5'3". Looking back now, I can't believe it. I could hardly walk upstairs or do any sort of physical activity. I was tired all the time, and I couldn't play with my kids. It was a depressing time. It also didn't help that my mother was diagnosed with cancer again, this time uterine. She chose not to do chemo this time and instead joined with hospice to lead her peacefully into the next life in 2016. 2 years later, some of my coworkers had joined WW and lost a lot of weight. I asked questions and watched what they ate. It intrigued me. Finally, I went home one day and said, you know what, why not? We got a nice discount through my employer, and I had nothing to lose but the weight that I had gained. It was time to do something for me. So I did online only for a year, and I lost 50 pounds. I hit a plateau bad. I didn't want to be discouraged and quit, so I decided to go pay a little extra and go to the workshops. So in January 2019, I started workshops. I love them. I can't believe I didn't start with them. The support is tremendous. After joining workshops, I now have lost 78 pounds. 78 pounds! Even saying that is surreal to me. I now work out 4+ days a week, even after work. I learned how to snowboard this year at the age of 34, and yes, it wasn't easy, but the challenge was awesome. A year ago, I would have never been able to do any of that. I can run around with my girls. This program has completely changed my lifestyle. For once in my life, I can actually tell when I'm hungry for substance and not just from boredom. I eat vegetables every day. I can't even eat the junk that I used to eat. I know what to do to keep my body healthy and happy, and I couldn't be happier. I thank God every day that I took a leap of faith and followed this group and many others to keep me on track. Without it, I don't know what would have happened. Lynn, I love your email. What an amazing journey you've had. And I certainly want to take a pause before I dig into the joy in your email and recognize your mom. And 2016, bless her heart, it sounds like, she was at the point where she said, okay, gone through that once, it was the right decision for her. So I can't even imagine the pain that comes with that. Recently we're going through something similar here, but you're directly connected. And so my heart breaks for you. And I just want to tell you that, from our community, from me, we're sorry for your loss. But we're also very, very, very proud of you. What you have done is incredible. Now, I always love that you can tell, folks, listen, if you're listening to the show, right, you can tell when an email is going to be awesome when it starts like this. Hello, my name is Lynn, blah, blah, blah. I didn't think my story is nearly as great as some of the others, but I hope it inspires. If you start your email with that, I almost always know it's going to be a doozy and it's going to be awesome. So that's the shirt. If you want your email read quickly, put that in the first sentence, and I go, yeah, let's just see where this goes. I promise you it's going to be better than they anticipated. So Lynn, you confirmed that hypothesis for me. Your email is fantastic, because here's why it's fantastic. You have, since a very, very, very early age, stressed at 9 years old. I can't even imagine that level of stress thrown on a 9-year-old child. You handled it beautifully. You handled it the best that you could at the time that it was given to you. There's no shame in that. There's no guilt in that. You were in survival mode, and because you're 34 now, it means you survived. Congratulations on that, right? So an amazing job there, but from an early on age, you've had to deal with things that we shouldn't place on 9-year-old children. But you persevered and you continued on. And so, and yeah, and sure, absolutely, 8th grade, gymnastics come, and then you go through a whole cycle of not eating properly. You have battled nutrition your entire life, whether it's either on the good side, the bad side. But what you have figured out is now at 34 years old, you're a rock star. At 34 years old, you're now understanding the true value of eating properly. And properly is defined by something nutritious, and you figured that part out. And I'm very, very excited that you figured it out at 34 years old. Raise your hand if you're listening right now and you wish that you figured this out at 34 years old, right? Only a handful of us are figuring it out before then. The rest of us took us well into our 40s, well into our 50s, where we finally said, oh my God, I finally have this figured out. And so here it took me, mid-40s for me to go, okay, I think I can't eat crap anymore, and I need to actually eat well. Boy, I would have loved to have had that mindset back at 30. Unfortunately, I didn't. So kudos to you for figuring that out early on. One of the things I want to address, though, is which I think is so true. It's how our brain does not allow us to see sometimes the truth, right? I remember I actually had a phone call the other day with an individual, and I remember saying something along the lines of, even for me at 263.5 pounds, I kind of thought I looked good. I mean, really. And when I'd see a picture of me, I would just simply say, oh my God, that's such a terrible picture of me. I didn't actually make the correlation that it was me, right? I was like, oh, that's just a bad picture. I actually look good. I don't know why our brains do that. And same thing happens on the opposite side, right? We don't have the ability to truly see what the world sees when it comes to us. Our brain controls this journey. I've told you that a gazillion times. And our brain controls the journey, and it controls all of the journey. So you have to rely on some of our life's cues to figure out, if we're making the right progress. Certainly being on some medication that we may be able to reduce by getting healthy is one. Certainly our clothing size is another. Certainly the ability to get up a flight of stairs without being winded. The ability to roll on the floor with our children. Those kind of indicators are far more valuable than what our bathroom mirror says back to us. Because a lot of us, our bathroom mirror isn't going to give us the validation or the shame that we need. It truly is going to have to take something else. And so you have to be in tune to those cues. So the awesome job figuring that piece out. And now at the point, working out 4 days a week, even after work, learning how to snowboard, all that good stuff is now, those are things now that you want to cement in your journey. You want to write them down. And what happens for a lot of us is as we get older, we believe that we're supposed to become unhealthier, right? We're supposed to deteriorate with age, whatever that means, but we believe that. And so all of a sudden at 40, if you go from 34 to 40 and all of a sudden getting up a flight of stairs becomes difficult, a lot of us just simply attribute it to we're older. Well, in most cases, maybe, but in a lot of cases, really, it's probably no, we're not as in good a shape as we were at 34, but we can continue that. And so my hope for you, Lynn, is that you understand that you cement this day in your journey as I am doing this, and this. And when that no longer happens, I need to make adjustments and to get it. The program has completely changed your lifestyle. That's the intent. If you want to change your life, you actually have to change your life. It's that simple, right? You can't expect to get different results from doing things that you've been doing over and over and over again. You've heard the famous quote time and time and time and time again. If you want different results, you've got to do something different. If you want to change your life, you have to completely change your life. Lynn, you've done that. You now know how to keep your body healthy and happy. And you couldn't be happier. So here's the power in that statement. Is when suddenly things aren't going well. If that ever happens and you're not happy, simply know that you can make yourself happy by doing the things that you're doing now to keep yourself happy and healthy. So Congratulations on your 78-pound weight loss. Yeah, even saying it is surreal. But it's not surreal. It's actually real. You did this. You did this through hard work. You did this with a lot of things carrying around that you shouldn't have to carry around, but you still were able to get it done. You did it by watching someone and being inspired by someone who had success, and you became intrigued, and you said, I want some of that success too. If they can do it, I can do it. And you've gone out and you've proven it, and now, right now, someone else is listening going, well, heck, if Lynn did it, then I can do it. And that is why your email is a home run in my book. And you started off beautifully. You set me up saying, I bet this won't resonate. It certainly did. Lynn, congratulations. 34 years old. Your whole life is in front of you, and it's a whole happy, healthy life. Man, if only. And I'm not one of those people that says I wish I could have, right? I believe I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be based on the decisions I made to get here. I get all that, So I wouldn't change a thing about my journey. However, to some extent, right? I wish I would have figured this out earlier. So Lynn, again, thanks for that. And if you're listening and you're 34 years old and that age, you got this. You got it figured out early. Congratulations. So keep up the amazing work. So awesome job. Next email comes in out of Watsonville, California, and it's Jane. Jane writes in, says, hey, Mike, just checking in. I've had to miss a few live episodes due to my workshops on Monday night and family dinner on Thursday, but I had some thoughts this week I wanted to run by you and possibly the wingman. As I've said a million times, I'm going to be 65. I repeat this because basically I can't believe it. I mean, where have all the years gone? And I actually still feel 25. I realized I've been a WW member off and on longer than some of my family have lived. I started when I was 16 and I'm still here. It's home to me. Even with all the changes over the years, I guess that's maybe why I can't get the thought of being satisfied with the number on the scale in my head. Years and years of diet mentality, which is why I'm so happy about the direction of WW, the mindset piece, and of course, your podcast. I've proven to myself that I can still walk on the treadmill at 3.5 miles an hour or a stationary bike at level 3 for at least 30 minutes. I love to swim and I can do push-ups, planks, etc. So now, this is where your advice comes into play. For some ridiculous reason, the other day I looked at my BMI. It said I'm obese. And I'd have to lose 30-ish pounds to be in the healthy range. Seriously, I'd wear a size 2. I can do all of that exercise. I eat healthy. I wear a size 12 pant and a medium to large top. My recent blood work came back the best ever. Then the wheel in my head starts. Yes, I want to lose 10 to 15 pounds, but will I ever be satisfied? If I looked at the BMI, if I did lose 15 pounds, it wouldn't be enough. And can I keep it at that number? I remember what you said about the number on the scale. I'm thinking I need to apply the same thought process with BMI, or am I just in denial? Any thoughts? Thanks. Enjoy your day, Jane. Jane, congratulations on being 25 years old. That's an amazing accomplishment. At 65, feeling like you're 25, isn't that victory? I mean, I could end my commentary on your email just on that note alone. You're 65 and you feel like you're 25. Who cares about the rest, right? So let's talk about it though, because I understand where you're coming from. And so here's where I want to go. I want to take the first obvious question that you threw out there is does your BMI come into play? Kinda, but no. So BMI is a screening tool generally used, and I'm not a BMI expert, but here's my opinion, and that's why you come here, right? And so generally speaking, the BMI is used to take groups of people and to categorize them quickly so that we can figure out what next level they need for care. So in theory, what you should do with the BMI chart is you take a bunch of people, you screen them, and you put them in categories of BMI, and then individually you address the person and go, okay, yeah, you may have a BMI of this, but no big deal. But it's a screening tool, not an individual data tool. So one of the things I love to do, and I encourage you all to do this, Go to a professional sporting event, particularly a basketball game. Because basketball, they like to tell you how tall everybody is, right? Or watch a football game and watch any professional event, right? And so I go to the Indianapolis or the Indiana Pacers game on occasion. I look at the program, and it shows me how tall everyone is and how much they all weigh. When you compute those, I can't remember ever seeing one who was a normal BMI. Many of them were overweight, and some of them were obese. Professional athletes, basketball players, they spend the entire day running up and down the court, right? I guarantee you there isn't a basketball player in the NBA today that I could outperform fitness-wise. They're all amazing athletes, and some of them have a BMI that's obese. Okay. You think they care? No. Because you think every day or every so often they get a medical physical to check on their health? Yes. Right? So what's important here? What's important is you understand that it's a data set. It's one little piece of data in your journey. If you're happy in your size 12, your medium to large top, your blood work is the best ever at 65 years old, who cares? Right? You're at the gym, you're running on a treadmill, you're walking on the treadmill, you're doing the stationary bike. You love to swim and do push-ups. Your level of activity, the variety of the activity that you're doing, and you love doing it, I could care less about your BMI number. And I'm probably pretty sure that your doctor doesn't care about your BMI number either. Especially when they pull your blood work and go, yeah, perfect, best ever, right? So here's where you go. Just don't overthink this, right? Now, there is some validity to the number, right? And you'll hear in the next email, we'll talk about that. It is an attainable number for a lot of people. But it doesn't define the journey. It doesn't determine success. If you started this journey, I love this analogy. I throw it out there all the time, and it's an over-exaggeration on purpose. But if you started this journey at 1,000 pounds, and you got down to 250, your doctor would be over the moon thrilled, right? And here we would say, well, you could get down to 163 to get the... No. That's not how this works. How this works is I believe the BMI chart is as we are growing, we get to a point where we fit into the range, right? Maybe. But some of us, we decide as we're growing, we could care less about the number, and we overshoot it just a little bit. And then as we're course correcting, we may not ever get back to it, and that's okay. It could be muscle mass. There's a number of factors that factor in. And so don't put any stock into it if you're at the gym 3 to 4 days a week, you're on the treadmill, you're on the bike, you're swimming, you're happy in your medium to large shirt, you're happy in your size 12, doing all this exercise, just celebrate that. You're 65 years old, your blood work is the best ever. Don't chase a number for the sake of chasing a number. Chase a lifestyle. Chase the happiness that you can give yourself. Right? And you clearly are full of joy, enjoying everything that you're doing. Don't let this piece derail you. Don't let it distract you. Be happy and kick that voice out of your head and say, yeah, sure, I want to lose another 10 to 15 pounds, but why are you how do you pick an arbitrary number to meet a scale number? So keep doing what you're doing, Jane. Kick out these thoughts. Congratulations on your incredible success. You're leading meetings, you're leading workshops, and so clearly you're doing something right, and you're inspiring other people. You're encouraging them to live a happy, healthy life, and you're doing it through by showing them, right? And it's one thing to teach; it's something totally different to show it. So keep doing all that you're doing, and like I said, we'll keep up the great work, and hopefully we'll get back out to San Francisco and give you a high five for all the amazing work that you've done. So. Jane, I'm very, very, very proud of you. Look up the chart for professional basketball players and let me know how many of them have a normal BMI. I'm curious, right? I know for the Pacers, it's few and far between, right? So don't worry about it, right? Again, it's a screening tool, not an individual data set. So very cool. Out of Arlington, Texas, the third email from the show comes in tonight from Audrey. Audrey says, "Dear Fat Dag, hey, on March 16th, I turned 50 years old, and for the first time in 15 years, I'm at a healthy BMI. I am now a lifetime member at Goal 12/13/2018. I am so proud of the work that I've done. I've lost 36 pounds, and for the first time ever, I feel comfortable in my own skin, and I'm at peace with food. I no longer worry about going to social events and being tempted with food. I have finally learned to choose a few foods I really want, and I move on. I have set up a structure in my life to fall back on that has allowed me to be successful. I have specific choices for meals that I rotate and restaurant choices that are within my point range, but they're still enjoyable. I have accepted that cutting up fruits and vegetables is an investment in my health, not an inconvenience. I have accepted that I will always have to check my weight regularly and be accountable. I have accepted that other people are always going to give me their opinion about what I'm eating and doing, and you know what? It doesn't matter what they think. I have accepted that I will always have to keep track of my movement. And you know what? It's totally worth it when my clothes are 3 sizes smaller. It's totally worth it when my health age comes back out at 35 for my biometric screening. It's totally worth it when I can keep up with my college kids at a water park. This is a journey, and I still have a lot of goals for myself, but today, I stop and I celebrate this one. Thanks for believing in me, and for all you do for this country and for our weight loss community. You have been instrumental in my success, Audrey. Audrey, congratulations on reaching Goal and being a lifetime member. How does that feel? I mean, really, take a second and soak that in. Congratulations on an amazing accomplishment, on something that you set out to do deliberately, and you worked and you persevered and you completely changed your life and you got there. Congratulations. And so in your case, congratulations on fitting into a healthy BMI range, right? It is totally possible for a lot of us. So congratulations on that. I know what that feels like. It's an amazing accomplishment. And so absolutely that needs to be celebrated. As we said just a second ago, it is a screening tool. So in your case, use it as a screening tool, and then look at the individual data set and compare the two, and continue to celebrate all that you've done and enjoy to do. Congratulations on that. Not worrying about going out to social events and being tempted with food, that's a victory in itself. Accepting the fact that cutting up fruits and vegetables is an investment in your health, amazing. I love that sentence. I got to find a way to use that over and over and over again, because I believe it's incredibly true. What you have done is you have figured out that in order for you to have success, you have got to own it. And in order to own it, you have to track it and measure it. And you have to find things along your journey that you can measure, and then determine how well you're doing with them, and keep all that going. So checking in your weight regularly, sure. And getting up to the, tracking your movement and knowing all that stuff, and just kind of keeping an eye on what you're doing to maintain the success. Incredible work. I do love the point where you say you've accepted the fact that people will always, they're going to give you their opinion about what you're eating and doing, and it doesn't matter what they think. Agree with you 1,000,000%, right? This is your journey. This is 100% about you. And so if you've done it for you, then it's a lot easier to maintain for you, because as you start getting opinions and as you start getting advice, right, it gets to the point where you're like, okay, well, I wasn't doing it for you. I was doing it for my own success, and I'm happy where I'm at. So it becomes a little easier to push out that negativity and the voices that maybe are trying to be helpful, but just don't come across the way that we need to be helped. So excellent job there. Excellent job on owning your journey. March 6th was your birthday, 50 years old, and really rocking the lifetime at Goal. And in your case, a healthy, happy BMI. How cool is that? I want you to take a moment, and I want you to write down what you did in the email, but I want you to write it down a little different too. I want you to write down how you feel. Like truly, spend some time documenting it to yourself. Don't send it to me unless you really, really want to, but I want you to document to yourself how you truly feel, how proud of you are, and what it feels like, so that you can read that every day and say, yeah, this is still true. This is still true. I'm still rocking this, right? and your biometric age coming back at 35 years old. Awesome job. So yes, the best part of your email though comes at the very end. The best part of your email comes in when you say, this is a journey and I still have a lot of goals for myself. That is what keeps us going. This is not a race, right? There is no end to this journey. But what there are milestones along the way that are significant. There are finish lines along the journey where you have to say, I did it. I've marked it off. I've completed it. I've done this. And then you say, now what? Bring it, right? I did this, and now I want to do something harder. Now I want to do something more, because I've knocked that out of the park. And that's where you're at. You took something, that a lot of us seem to be, impossible and daunting, and that's to get the goal, to get the life, and you've done it, you've crushed it. And you're not satisfied with that being the end of the journey. The end of your journey will continue on, and you will take the next goal, and you'll use the motivation, the power, all the accountability tools that you put in place to get this goal accomplished. You will use them in your next goal. And when you knock that one out of the park, you'll set another goal. And when you knock that one out of the park, you'll set another goal. And at some point, you will get to the point where you'll say, there is nothing on this planet I cannot do. I think you're there now, but I'm going to go ahead and on a limb and say you are going to get there soon if you're not. And so you just continue to check things off your to-do list, and you check them off, and you use all the tools that are available to you, to include the mental strength it takes to put yourself first, ignore those around you who aren't helping you on your journey, and persevere until you get to the point where you're happy and you're celebrating and you're loving every minute of it. So Audrey, thank you so much for your note. Congratulations on an amazing accomplishment and a complete awesome journey. Very, very proud of you. Welcome to Lifetime. Welcome to Goal. Keep up the amazing work. It's so fun to celebrate on this show with you guys. So I always want to know at the end of the show, what is it that you're celebrating? Let's share it on the air. Go to fatdag.com, click on the WhysAdvice podcast link, send in your celebrations, your comments, your questions. I'll work them in as part of the show. I want you to email in the celebrations because I want you to be proud of what you're doing. And I want you to use the line that I just said in the opening of the show is send an email saying, you know what, I'm sure this won't help anybody, but here's my journey. Because I promise you, if you start your email like that, there's going to be something very, very powerful in the middle. I've yet to have an email come into the show where it didn't make any sense, and I said, yeah, don't read that one because that's silly. It has not happened yet. I don't believe it ever will, but I challenge you to send that one in. Sending in your email does two things. One, it helps you for sure because it gets it off your chest. It gets it out, right? And if you want to use a fake name, use a fake name. If you want to use a fake city, use a fake city. I don't care. What I need is you to get it out of your head and own it. Push it to me so that other people can go, me too. I understand that. Oh, and if she can do it, if he can do it, well, then I can do it. That's the power of this community. That's the power of this podcast. And it only happens when you take the time to document it and send it in. As I said in the beginning of the show, you can do it directly from the app. Go to your app and click on the settings button, click on email the show, type it in, hit send, or email in at onair@fatdag.com. However it takes it to get here, it gets here, and we use it. So thank you. Folks, that's going to do it for this time. Remember that losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goal and go after it. On behalf of my producers, Heather and Lisa, we wish you good focus. Whoop, whoop. Debbie says, I'm about redemption. Whew. So that is episode 266, which I think was, what'd you think? Awesome? I don't know. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was super duper awesome. Let's see. I'm trying to read. Ina says, my doctor did not like the BMI. Just keep doing healthy stuff. Right. Exactly. As long as you're doing healthy stuff, that's all that matters. That's all we care about. So very fun. Steve says, another great show. Steve, thank you. Thank you. Jan says, I'm not sure what I did, but many of my Facebook friends have popped in to watch. Well, thanks for sharing, Jan. Hi, Jan's friends. Good to see you. It's so fun that you're here. Jan's awesome, by the way. And so if you're here because Jan told you to come here, or even accidentally, then you're awesome too. That's just how this show works. And so thank you for sharing. Jan's been an amazing part of this community for a very, very, very long time, and a lot of love, a lot of respect. So thanks for being here. Cool. Carrie says, very inspiring show. Isn't it fun? Man, I tell you, I've said this more than once, right? If you relied on me telling you about my journey over and over and over and over again, this would be stupid. It'd be a dumb show, right? My journey's awesome. It's impressive. It's amazing, blah, 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 blah. But you get tired of hearing it, right? And what happens too is you get to the point where you're like, okay, I've heard it. I get it, but I'm not in the military. I'm not this, whatever. And so it doesn't relate. So you sending in your version of the story helps it relate to more and more and more people, and it continues to grow, and that's what makes the show awesome, all because of you guys. So very fun. And then, of course, when you invite your friends, when you share the live feed, when you share the show, and your friends get here, I'll give you the monster shout out. I'll pretend you're the rock star in the room, right? You are, and so all of Jan's friends know it now. So very fun. Kathy says 3 super letters. Right? Heather and Lisa did a great job pairing those two together. I was a little when I read them, I'm like, okay, we put, my response was going to be in one email, ignore the BMI, and the next email was going to be congratulations on hitting a healthy BMI, and so yeah. But what's cool about that is you do you. If it works for you, it works for you. Boom. That's simple, right? So I thought that was very important to have that piece left in this show for sure. So very, very, very fun. Let's see what else. Going through. I'm trying to see if there's any comments that I missed. I think, a lot of Mark. Hey, Mark's here. Woo! I miss Mark. I haven't seen you in forever. Mark, for those of you who don't know, Mark is amazing dude out in California. When I was at the San Francisco tour, I stayed at Mark's house. So awesome dude. So Kevin says, sorry I was late. We'll have to watch the replay. Is there a schedule for these podcasts? So Kevin, what I try and do for certain is I put the calendar link on fatdag.com. So you can keep an eye on the calendar there. That's number one. But the easiest way is to follow the WhysAdvice account on Twitter. Turn on notifications. I don't use that account for much other than show notifications, so it doesn't blow up your phone. So follow the WhysAdvice account on Twitter. And what will happen is whenever I decide I'm doing a live show, like this time I decided last night around this time, and so you get a tweet saying, hey, live show at this and this time. Then you get a tweet 15 minutes before the show saying, hey, this show is happening in 15 minutes. And then you get a tweet saying, hey, this show is happening now. You get all of that for free if you follow the WhysAdvice account and turn notifications on Twitter. If you follow the FatDag account, you may get some other stuff that you may not want, So follow the WhysAdvice account, turn notifications on for that account, and you'll always be notified. I've tried recently to make an event in Facebook so you can see it as well. I forgot on this episode, but periodically you can check the calendar. But what happens by you checking the calendar is you may check it today and it may say nothing, and then all of a sudden I add it tomorrow, and then you believe there's no show. So Twitter is the preferred way for me to get the word out right now. It's the easiest because I had it automated where I just say I'm going to do a show, and Twitter takes care of the rest and sends all the tweets on its own. So anyway. That is how you find out, Kevin, when we're doing. Yep. Yeah, so open a Twitter account. And so, again, I promise you, the WhysAdvice account, I don't beat you up on that. I don't use it for anything but the show. I'm not going back and forth with, a bunch of different conversations. Every once in a while I do accidentally, and then I realize I'm in the wrong account. But I try and use that only to give you alerts on what's happening in the show so that you can stay up to speed. It's the easiest. At one point I tried doing text notifications. I want people would get a text message, and it ended up being way too costly, and Twitter is free. So I'm like, okay. And Michael says you can set up alerts in Facebook as well. Yep. The only downside to that, Michael, is you only get it when the show actually happens live. And so the nice thing about Twitter is you get it as I add it to the calendar. You get a 15-minute warning, and then you get a live now show, where Facebook only gives you a live now notification. So That's the difference between the two of them. But yeah, you can certainly set up Facebook to get notifications as well, and you probably should do both, right? But so first of all, so here just reemphasize what I do when I decide I can do a live show. I add it to the calendar in my phone, so I block out time in my calendar. Automatically, that gets tweeted out. I don't have to do anything about it. Once I add it to my calendar, Twitter automatically takes over and gives you, the second I post it. So you could get 24 hours notice. You could get 48 hours notice, maybe. You could get 2 hours notice, depending on when I make the decision. Then you also get a 15-minute warning, and then you get the actual happening now tweet as well. So anyway, that's and Twitter's free, and you can sign up for an account and have one account and only follow me. It would work for that purpose. So anyway, cool. All right. On that note, let's see. I think that's all that's going on. So let's go ahead and wrap this thing up, shall we? Episode 266 is in the books. I want to get it out to the app so you have it. Schedule for the rest of this week for me, crazy. I have my workshop tomorrow night. If you're in Indianapolis, stop in. I have my Wednesday night. We have a track meet. My daughter has a track meet, so that's going well this year. Thursday night, my workshop, and then Friday. Friday may be our next opportunity for an opportunity. I don't know if there's something going on Friday or not. I can't remember. I'll have to look at my calendar. Saturday, and then Sunday, travel for work. So crazy work, crazy schedule. So let's plan on trying to get together on Friday, but follow Twitter. If I can make something happen before then, I certainly will do that. You guys know that. So, all right. On that note, thank you for being here. Thanks for being a part of this amazing community. You guys make this thing special, man. I promise you that is all you. It's my honor to give back to this community and tie us all together and keep us all moving in the right direction. So very, very, very proud of your efforts. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being, so thank Donna real quick. Donna says, on Twitter, I turned off all notifications except WhysAdvice. So the show is the only notifications I get. Easy peasy. Right? That is exactly how I think you should do it. So, yep. Kathy chimes in. Debbie chimes in. Says it's actually in Carmel, Indiana, not Indy. So you're right. If you're in Carmel, Indiana, or Noblesville, or Fishers, or Indianapolis, stop in. We'll see you tomorrow night. On that note, thanks for being here. Have a great night. I wish you good focus. Bye-bye. I always forgot this too. Take care.